Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. As promised, we are getting back to our A Song of Ice and Fire content, and today we are discussing if dragons act on their riders' baser instincts. There is a lot of speculation out there about how Targaryens bond with their dragons. Do they possess dragon DNA or something of the sort? I personally believe Targaryens simply possess the wargame gene. I also believe dragons and their riders have a semi-codependent relationship. We know that the Stark direwolves tend to act on their owners' fears and affections, and I believe the Targaryen dragons are the same, but they act more aggressively and veer towards pain. This is something Dany finds out when he rides Drogon for the first time. When he whips him on the left, he veers left, instead of like a horse and veering right. So, dragons act on their riders' baser instincts by nature. This is one of the reasons Targaryens can be so unpredictable, I believe. We've all thought in the back of our mind about screaming at someone or slapping them, but we don't do it. However, if we were bonded to a dragon, the dragon might lash out in our defense, as they would feel our anger. We have multiple examples of this, not just in the A Song of Ice and Fire books, but in Fire and Blood as well. And don't worry, I plan to tell you about every example I have found of this happening. The first thing I am going to talk about is the TV show. And I know it is not strictly canon, but we do have to look at it because, unfortunately, the two Ds, Dave and Dan, did consult George R.R. Martin when writing the show. The prime example being Dany and Drogon burning King's Landing. Dany is simply angry at what the city represents and the comfortable life she should have had. She thinks this, she feels this anger, this resentment, and before she can do anything else, Drogon has lashed out because he feels what she feels. Don't worry, that is the only time in this video we are going to talk about the Game of Thrones finale. Fear not, we are going back to the books, and a little bit of evidence from House of the Dragon. We have Aemon One-Eye and Vhagar killing Lucerys and Arrax over Shipbreaker Bay. Was it revenge for Aemon's eye, or did Aemon simply want to scare the younger boy and send him back to his mother, saying, "I don't think attacking the Greens is a good idea"? But the dragon acted of its own accord and attacked Luke. And when we see Aemon's reaction to what Vhagar did on the TV show, you can hold no doubt that he didn't actually want Vhagar to kill Luke. We then have the storming of the dragon pit, and Rhaenyra's dragon attacking the dragon pit and the people of King's Landing instead of flying away to safety. I would simply say that Rhaenyra was mad at the people of King's Landing for not taking her to their hearts and resenting her high taxation. She felt bitter gall that taking King's Landing had not reinforced her as queen. And her dragon, feeling these emotions, let loose on the people of King's Landing when given a chance. Now we move on to Queen Helaena and Dreamfire. Dreamfire broke her chains when Queen Helaena killed herself by throwing herself from the battlements of King's Landing. Queen Helaena was in a way breaking herself free from the bonds of life, and her dragon, feeling this need to be free, did the same thing. We then have Drogon, the dragon which is bonded to Daenerys, crying out when Dany orgasms. That one is pretty self-explanatory. Now we have Sunfire and Aegon II. When both Sunfire and Aegon are badly injured, and Aegon II escapes to Dragonstone, Sunfire finds him. This was Aegon II's time of greatest need, and his dragon found him, even though it could hardly fly anymore, like Drogon found Daenerys in the fighting pits of Meereen when she was going to be poisoned. They were drawn together in dangerous times. The dragons seemed to be able to sense the danger and need of their riders. And now for our final example, and I think perhaps the biggest. Sunfire's reluctance to eat Rhaenyra until blood was drawn from her chest. Did Aegon really want to kill his big sister? We know Aegon never wanted the throne, but it was forced upon him. Was he forced to kill his sister by his dragon because he knew in the back of his mind that Rhaenyra must die to make him and his children, or the remaining children, safe? And did Sunfire feel his master's reluctance and not act until the final moment? I believe these 7 examples back up my theory that dragons act on their riders' baser instincts once bonded with a human, and that part of the previous rider's conscience can remain in the dragon's psyche, but that's a video for another time. Do you agree with my theory that dragons act on their riders' baser instincts? If you do agree, leave me a comment. If you don't agree, leave me a comment letting me know why, and subscribe, because next week we're talking about ice and the role the great sword plays in Stark history. Until next time, remember, winter is coming. Bye.